Dear students, today we will discuss small intestine, large intestine and histology of gut. प्यारे बच्चों, ये जितने भी हमने नोट्स बनाए हैं उन सब की पीडीएफ फाइल हमने वीडियो लेक्चर उसके डिस्क्रिप्शन में अपलोड कर दिए। सभी बच्चे अपने नोट्स डाउनलोड कर लें। प्यारे बच्चों, वी हैव ऑलरेडी started this topic, parts of alimentary canal. First of all, we have studied mouth, entire ora, buccal cavity, then throat, pharynx, food pipe, esophagus, and the widest part of alimentary canal, stomach, we have discussed. In today's lecture, we will cover small intestine, large intestine, and histology of gut. Very important topics for competitive exams. Particularly, the today's lecture is designed for all NEET students, AIM students, competitive exams. First of all, we will discuss small intestine. Small intestine, that is the longest part of alimentary canal. It is about 6.25, हमने कहा बच्चों 6.25 meters long. And this small intestine is divided into three parts. Its upper U-shaped part, that is duodenum. Its middle part, that is jejunum, and bachcho last part of this small intestine, that is longest part, it is ileum. The upper part duodenum, which is about C-shaped, U-shaped, and in that U-shaped cavity of duodenum, ampulla of hepatopancreatic duct or ampulla of Vater that opens. It means through this ampulla, this duodenum receives both secretions, pancreatic juice as well as bile juice from liver. Diameter of duodenum, that is 4.5 centimeter. Jejunum, it is about to 5 meters in length and its diameter is 4.0 centimeter. While the ileum, its diameter is less. It is 3.5 centimeter. And its length is about 3.5 meters. Small nodules of lymphatic tissues are present throughout the length of small intestine. Dear students, note down this point. Competition students, हमने कहा throughout the length of small intestine, small nodules, and these nodules are clustered. Particularly, they produce groups, patches in ileum region. These are named Peyer's patches. Note down competition students. हमने कहा the nodules of lymphatic tissues which are clustered in groups, particularly in ileum region. And these are Peyer's patches. These are lymph nodules. ये देख रहे बच्चों, in this small intestine, ileum region, this is Peyer's patch. Present in this submucosa region, these are aggregating lymphoid follicles. Two very important questions for competitive exams. One is GALT and second important question, that is MALT. Note down all students of competitive exams. GALT, that is gut associated lymphoid tissue, and this MALT, this is mucosal associated lymphoid tissues. प्यारे बच्चों, इम्यून सिस्टम की बात करें, lymphatic tissues की बात करें, two important questions, gut associated small intestine के साथ देख रहे हैं, and these mucosal associated means these lymphoid tissues associate with the mucous membranes of mucosa of respiratory tract, urinogenital tract and digestive tract. This one is MALT. And बच्चों gut associated जो particularly बता रहे हैं बच्चों throughout the length of small intestine, the lymphatic tissues, the lymph nodes which associate, that constitute GALT, gut associated lymphoid tissue. Another important point, another important question for NEET students. In this small intestine, circular folds are present, means mucosa, mucous membrane of small intestine. Particularly these are abundant in jejunum because the jejunum, that is a main part of, that is main site of absorption of food. To increase the absorptive surface area of this small intestine, the mucous membrane that produce circular folds. Note down this point. These circular folds are plica circularis. हमने कहा बच्चों, these circular folds in the intestine produced by mucous membrane, the mucosa, and these are abundant in jejunum, that is main site of absorption of food. These circular folds are plica circularis, not plica semilunaris. वो बच्चों नोट करें, in our eyes, third eyelid, that is plica semilunaris. Semicircular folds, these are circular folds, plica circularis. और बच्चों valves of Kark ring, very important questions for all competitive exams. In our small intestine हमने क्या कहा बच्चों, the mucous membrane that produce circular folds which increase the surface area for food absorption, and these are abundant in jejunum because jejunum is main site of absorption of food. The next part is large intestine. Dear students, large intestine, as name indicates, it is named large intestine because its diameter is more as compared to small intestine, while the length of large intestine is only 1.5 meters, while the length of the small intestine, that is 6.25 meters long. It is named because its diameter is small, that's why it is large intestine. Small intestine diameter is less as compared to this large intestine. This large intestine, it is further divided into three parts. First part is cecum and vermiform appendix. Cecum, that is a pouch-like structure, and this vermiform appendix is an outgrowth of cecum. Both cecum and vermiform appendix are vestigial organs, vestiges, non-functional organs in case of human beings. But these cecum and vermiform appendix are well developed, well functional in herbivores like rabbit. The second part of large intestine, that is colon. Colon is the largest part. It has ascending part, transverse part, descending, and last sigmoid colon. It means the colon is divided into four parts: ascending colon, transverse colon, descending, and sigmoid colon. Particularly note another important question for NEET students. In colon, 3 longitudinal folds are there. हमने कहा 3 longitudinal folds which resemble like tapeworm, and these are named Taenia coli. कहाँ present है बच्चों? In colon part. 3 longitudinal bands are there. And the last part of large intestine, that is rectum. That is the terminal part, that is the posterior part which opens by NS. Very important point is histology of gut. उसकी body wall, gut, anatomy, histology of alimentary canal. And that histology, all students, competitive exam students, note down the alimentary canal, the gut wall, and its histology shows it has 4 parts. This outermost part is, that is visceral peritoneum, means outer layer of gut wall is, this is visceral peritoneum or serosa. It is made up of simple squamous epithelium, means all cells are thin and flat cells, produce outermost layer. Second part is muscularis. This second part is muscularis or muscular cord, and this muscular cord consists of, it is made up of 2 types of muscle layers. In outer region, these are longitudinal muscle fibers, and in inner region, this one is, these are circular muscle fibers. It means throughout the body wall, throughout the gut wall, in muscular cord, having two layers of muscles. Outer longitudinal muscle fibers and inner these are circular muscles. But not down, NEET students, but in case of stomach. Additional third type of muscle layer is present. These are oblique muscles, which are responsible for gastric movements, which are responsible for powerful generation of movements, churning movements in stomach for mechanical breakdown of food. क्या काम नहीं है? In case of stomach, longitudinal muscle layers, circular muscle layers, and additional third muscle layer. These are oblique muscles to generate powerful churning movements of stomach, mechanical breakdown करना food को बच्चों. Between these longitudinal muscle layer and circular muscle layer, this is a network of nerve cells and nerve fibers. Not now NEET students, these nerve cells and nerve fibers. These nerve fibers are parasympathetic nerve fibers, and this network is named, all NEET students, this network is Orbach's plexus. It is myenteric plexus. क्या काम है बच्चों? Between longitudinal and circular muscles, there is a network of nerve cells and nerve fibers. These nerve fibers are parasympathetic nerve fibers, and this one is Orbach's plexus or myenteric plexus, and this plexus is responsible to control the peristaltic movements, the peristalsis, the movements of gut. क्या काम है? हम डिस्कस करें बच्चों histology of gut. The gut wall having four parts. This outer layer is visceral peritoneum. This is the outermost layer made up of simple squamous epithelium, and then the next part is muscular coat having two layers of muscles. In outer region longitudinal muscle fibers, and inner part these are circular muscles, but in case of stomach additional third layer of muscles, oblique muscles are present inside these circular muscles. First longitudinal, then circular, and in stomach inside these circular muscles another layer, that is oblique muscle layer. Between these longitudinal and circular muscles, this network of nerve cells and nerve fibers, that is Orbach's plexus myenteric, which is responsible for the control of peristaltic movements. Third part of gut wall, that is submucosa. प्यारे बच्चों, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट थर्ड वन इज, ये देख रहे हैं बच्चों, सर्कुलर मसल्स के जस्ट बिलो दिस थर्ड पार्ट, दैट इज सबम्यूकोसा, एंड दिस सबम्यूकोसा इज मेड अप ऑफ लूज कनेक्टिव टिश्यू as well as it has abundant supply of blood vessels, lymph vessels, as well as it consists of some glands. This submucosa. In this submucosa, another network of, हमने कहा बच्चों, in this submucosa, another network of nerve cells and nerve fibers, and this network is Meissner's plexus, or it is submucosa plexus, and this plexus controls the secretion of small intestine, the secretion of alimentary canal. Two types of nerve plexus. This one is myenteric Orbach's plexus, which is responsible for the control of peristaltic movements, and this plexus, which is present in submucosa, that controls the secretion of small intestine, intestinal juice, and this Meissner's plexus, its nerve fibers are sympathetic. Note down NEET students, these nerve fibers are, myenteric nerve fibers are parasympathetic, while these Meissner's plexus nerve fibers are sympathetic in nature. Fourth point, that is mucosa. First layer is visceral, second is muscular coat, third one is submucosa, and dear students, the fourth layer of gut wall, that is mucosa, and this mucosa, it produces सर्कुलर फोल्ड्स, यहां हमने बताया बच्चों, क्या बताया हमने, माल्ट, म्यूकोसल एसोसिएटेड लिम्फॉइड टिश्यू. इट मीन्स ये देख रहे हैं बच्चों म्यूकोसा, एंड इन दिस म्यूकोसा इट इज फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू 3 पार्ट्स. दिस वन इज मस्कुलरिस म्यूकोसा, then उसके बाद another important point that is lamina propria, and this inner lining is epithelium. It means this innermost fourth part, that is mucosa, it has 3 parts, 3 layers. First is muscularis mucosa. Note down two types of layers of muscles, outer longitudinal and inner circular muscles, and this lamina propria, very important lamina propria, that is made up of loose connective tissue having lymphatic tissues. Lymphatic tissues means malt, the mucosal associated lymphatic tissue of mucosa, exactly बच्चों present in lamina propria, and this inner lining over the lumen cavity of gut, this one is epithelium, and this epithelium it produces gastric glands in stomach, while in small intestine it produces intestinal glands and villi. तो प्यारे बच्चों बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स हमने कवर किए हैं. आज का लेक्चर स्ट्रिक्टली हमने डिजाइन किया था बच्चों कॉम्पिटिटिव स्टूडेंट्स के लिए. ये सारा सब कुछ हमने डिस्कस कर दिया बच्चों, पार्ट्स ऑफ एलिमेंट्री कैनाल और एनाटॉमी, हिस्टोलॉजी ऑफ गट. In today's lecture, we'll discuss glands, digestive glands. Thank you.